Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gills, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure? It's cultist coffee. What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is great to be with you this morning. Welcome to my home. Welcome to the office. Welcome to the morning grind. It's kind of a no camera morning here. I have been absolutely going crazy like over the past since about Thursday. I have been at it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and here I am this morning. But I'm thinking, okay, this is kind of a no camera morning, and I got stuff I've got to do this afternoon, this evening, and won't really have a break until tomorrow. So I don't exactly look presentable at the moment. So this is how we're going here. Our main topic for today was recommended by BGD to take a look at the Grit Fantasy RPG system. So we're going to be taking a look at that. And I was listening to some of the videos as well. And he's been doing some audio-only videos. So maybe this is kind of an ode to the creator here. So BGD recommended the Grit Fantasy RPG system. And I was noticing that a lot of people in the chat were also looking at this one, hadn't necessarily gotten it yet, but were looking at getting it. Sable Phoenix, Bacon Gaming, and so forth. So let's take it out. Let's take it for a spin, or at least take it out and take it. Get a first look at it and review it. I am actually not in my underwear. I am wearing clothes here. but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm presentable. So let's see. Tomocrat is here. Good morning. Good morning. Alex Gherkin is here. Alex says, I used to watch these a lot. First time here live this morning. Well, welcome. Welcome. You can't see me sip, but I'm going to sip to you right here. First time live. So here's to you, Alex. Great having you this morning. PH is here. Good morning. Bacon Gaming is here. Yeah, so about to take a look at it. Mike is here. Mike was playing Hero Quest with us. Doc Flamingo is here. So I was also see so what's going on here. Well, one of the things that went on this last few days, Friday night, I played a game of Hero Quest with people in the online gaming coffee shop. Sable was there. Sable was there. Cthulhu Bob was there. Now you see him sometimes in the Discord server, but we've got but I don't see him too often on the live streams. But Cthulhu Bob was there, and so was Mike, and we were playing Hero Quest. I was trying to come up with ways to get games rolling in an online form that wasn't trying to organize the entire Ravenkeep or the entire RavenCon, because it was just too much, especially last week. But I did want to do some gaming, and so I sent out the offers to the gaming list and just said, hey, free game, come on in if you want to play Hero Quest. So we had a lot of fun. I want to be able to do more things like that and be able to play more games by being able to get this done casually. So I did that. I put that out to the people on the list. Let me go ahead and give you the link if you want to sign up for RavenCon and online gaming. If you want on the list to know when we're doing some more games in the online coffee shop, let me give that to you. Raven right here. So you'll be on the list if you sign up here. The list for online RPG gaming. Well, it's online tabletop gaming. Not all right there. Sign up there. And I also put that out to channel members as well. So I made it the offer to channel members. Let's see. Oh, look, it is Gnomebot Studios. Welcome. Good to see you. I was actually going to ask if anybody knew how to connect with the creator. So Gnomebot Studios, this is the publishing company for the Grit Fantasy RPG. So it's fantastic to have you here. It's always great to have the creator in the chat. So answer questions, clarifications, things like that. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, that was fantastic. Mike was playing the Barbarian. It was funny. We were using the Axion Quest dungeon events, and there was a devil or something that came up to Mike and asked him if he would trade one of his mind points for another body point. Well, there was also an option to get 1,000 gold coins for a mind point, but he took the option to get completely refilled on health and adding one body point to him permanently if he subtracted a mind point. So he ended up being a 1 mind point barbarian, but 9 body point barbarian, which is definitely a tank-like barbarian. But then we were playing the quest where you were searching for the Talisman of Lore, and the barbarian found the Talisman of Lore. So the 1 mind point barbarian was walking around with the Talisman of Lore, which brought him back up to 2 HP, to 2 mind points, rather. You sent me a message in Discord about the mic? Oh, am I not sounding good? I'm not sure. I don't think I've got it. I will look. All right. So yes, so Hero Quest. So sign up there if you want to be on the gaming list, and we will do some more online gaming there. We'll be doing some playtesting for the Cultist RPG and other things we are creating here. I am working with an artist to create some art for the Cultist RPG. She is working now. I got one of the illustrations back. I put that in the Discord server. Let me put a link to the Discord server right here. As you can see, Acantha. Let's see, Ravenkeep Discord server. I am once I get this art back, I'm going to work on creating that virtual tabletop build out for it. and then we can play some games in there. And then I got the quote that I got back for the RPG was very promising. So, but probably going to have to be tomorrow before I can sit down and really work on that again. Hey, let's go ahead and give away some memberships here. Oh, okay. So that's it. Yeah, well, that's probably the case. Let me adjust my microphone. I'm be looking kind of straightforward. All right, there we go. Maybe that's better. Okay, let's go ahead and give away some memberships this morning. That way, if you also know when things are going on. Let's see. Here we go. All right. 5 memberships going out. Let's see who gets them. Ixon. Oh, we saw him just a couple of episodes ago. The Great Old Ones, Steel Mongoose, Mr. Baker, and Dawn. So those are our new members here. Ixon, he was with us for the first time. Was last week, last Thursday or last Sunday? I'm not sure. Last Wednesday or last Sunday? I'm not sure. The Great Old Ones, Steel Mongoose. Certainly see Steel Mongoose around. Steel Mongoose might be on the channel right now. So there we go. So you'll also be, I'll let you know when we do the next gaming again, if you are the online channel members. All right, let's see. I think that's all my notes this morning. Like I said, that's been crazy. Let's take a look at the Grit Fantasy RPG system. Although the first thing I wanted to do was take a look at the let's take a look at the I'm sorry, I got distracted. Oh, the character sheet first. Okay, so we like to look at character sheets first. So I do have the character sheet here. I just got this. I just went and bought this on Drive-Thru RPG. So let's take a look at the character sheet first. So I'm going to take this down. So here is the Grit character sheet. There might not be a whole lot for us to learn, but I do like to look at the character sheets first. We like that so we can kind of see what we're going in this game. So we do have name, okay, name and lineage. We've got different, I guess these are our stats. Doesn't really give us a whole lot to go on. MPVIC, ability, soak, grit, and gear. 6x9. I like things that are 6x9. That's a good size. All right, so there we go. So that's what the Grit Systems character sheet is. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual game then. All right. So it sounds like nobody's played this one yet, but a lot of people have been interested. Let's see. Okay. Design, writing, and art by Jeremy Pete. Editing and layout by Ryan James. Is anybody we know in the playtesting and support? Grit Fantasy RPG. Let's see. How is this organized? So introduction, what you need. All right, we'll go through that. This PDF, this PDF is 138 pages, so there's a lot here. Core rules. Okay, we go right into core rules, which is great. Basics, details, combat, miscellaneous. Okay, character creation is at the back of the book. So that's the way that that's the way that I've been organizing mine too. I like to get into exactly how to play. So it looks like we can just start and we'll get into how to play. I won't have to worry about character creation till later. GM's guide, monsters, loot tables. Okay, so there's a lot here. All right, what is grit? Oh, let's breathe and sip. Let's breathe and sip before we start reading. I need a sip right here. I feel like my throat sounds gurgly anyway. Gnomebot says there is an 8.5 by 11 character sheet that's available that comes with a PDF book. I saw that. Do I need to take? Let me pull that one up and see what that one is. Excuse me. Okay, so there I do have the 8.5 by 11. It's got basically the same kind of information on it. So name, lineage, ability, soak, grit, MPVIC. So we're going to find out what all those are, and then gear as well. All right. So let's breathe and sip. Let's take care of our mental health. I'm going to, we're going to take 2 deep breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth, deep inhale, complete exhale, and then let's take a sip of our favorite beverage this morning. So here we go. Breathe in. And breathe. And sip. All right. Let's see. So Charlie has never heard of the Grit RPG. So Mike says, I come to this experience unencumbered with knowledge about this game. I think it was just released. Gnomebot can confirm that because I was listening to some of the videos and he was saying like July of 2024, right? I mean, it just came out, right? Okay, so this is Grit. Grit is a rules-light system designed for one-shots and short campaigns. It makes storytelling the focus of gameplay without the need for constant rules checking. Here are some highlights of Grit. Easy to learn, minimal core rules that can be easily learned and implemented. Teaching new players a simple task. New players is a simple task for the GM of any experience level. Quick characters, straightforward step-by-step character building that can be done in minutes. Okay, that's good. I like fast character creation. A quick build option makes the process even faster. Faster combat. The combination of actions and reactions accelerate combat. Attack, resolution, and damage are calculated together in a single die roll. We were kind of going in that direction for the Fate RPG, for Fated Edge. Lots of loot, hundreds of loot items and gear, consumables, and artifacts are categorized into simple D20 tables for easy to use. Can you hear this like cricket or something in here? I can't tell if that's outside my window or if it's actually here in my office someplace. Man, it's loud. Maybe the microphone's doing its thing since PH was saying that it's more directional. So maybe, hopefully, you can't. Might have to go cricket hunting here in a moment. Okay, Gnomebot confirms. Just released over a week ago. Okay, you can't hear it? Okay, good. So it's just me with this thing. Okay, just released over a week ago. So this is brand new. Low prep, no more epic length prepping with tables that quickly generate story ideas, encounters, NPCs, and monsters. Setting up games is simple for any GM. All right. Well, I like this design philosophy. This is a lot of the things that we've talked about here. What you need. Playing a game of Grit requires at least 2 players with one person taking the role of the game master, GM. You will need this rule book, a set of polyhedral dice, and each player, for each player, D4 to D20, character sheets, writing utensils, and your imagination. Players won't need to read this book from cover to cover, but should be familiar with the core rules and character sections. GMs should at least read the core rules, GM's guide, and monster sections before running the play. All right. So core concepts. The following is a summary of the core concepts found in Grit. A standard D12 is used as the primary die. Rolls are either static, beat a target, or opposed, roll higher than opponent. No set turn order. Each round is determined by the player and the GM. 3 simple measurements are used for both movement and range. Players begin the game with 3 focus dice, which are used to boost rolls. In lieu of spells, there are magical items for players to discover and use. Each character has 10 points of grit, representing health. Michael says, oh, you can't actually hear it? Michael says, silhouette heavy gear. Silhouette heavy gear uses a damage multiplier based on skill roll. I don't know either one of those. So each character has 10 points of grit. That was definitely on the character sheet, representing health. Okay, so grit is your health. Abbreviations. GM is Game Master, NPC, D. Okay, we know that. Grit is life points or health points. Soak is total damage reduction. Okay, so we saw Soak on the character sheet. So Soak is damage reduction. Okay, so here is our MPVIC. Might, Prowess, Valor, Insight, Command. And SU is single-use item. So it looks like our stats are Might, Prowess, Valor, Insight, and Command. Core rules. All right, the basics. Learning how to play grit is simple once you understand a few concepts. The first section covers making rolls, taking turns, movement, and grit. Making rolls. A roll is made anytime a player does something that could reasonably fail. The GM will prompt the player when a roll is required. The steps used for every roll are declare an objective, get GM guidance, make the aspect roll, use a focus die that's got a question mark by it, and receive results. So declare an objective. An announcement is made describing what a PC, NPC, or monster attempts to do. 2, get GM guidance. Once the objective is declared, the GM states if the roll must be static, beat a target number, or opposed, roll higher than an opponent, and says which aspect to use. If the roll is static, the GM provides the difficulty level. Make the aspect roll. A D12 is rolled and a specified aspect value added to it. The total is then compared to a static number or opposed roll. If the number is beaten, the roll succeeds. So we're rolling a D12 here. That's our standard die roll. D12 system. I don't see that one commonly. So that's something different. Oh, PH says, well, hold on. I think the channel is growing and gaining in notoriety. It's becoming a regular occurrence for publishers and authors to join the grind. I'm very glad to see that. Congratulations. Well, thank you, PH. Yeah, that's great. It's easy to do the morning grind as a single person rather than having to coordinate having somebody on. But it's fantastic when people related to the project are in the chat. I love that. So our focus dice are D4, D6, and D8. Core rules. I think this cricket is in my office. Just one second. I think it's trapped in the corner. We'll see later. Okay, so core rules. Static rolls. A static roll is made when an attempted task is not challenged by a rival. The roll must beat a target number based on a difficulty level declared by the GM. The 4 difficulty levels and their correlating target numbers are easy 3, average 6, hard 9, and absurd 12. Easy 3. Okay, so small chance of failure, piece of cake. Easy is used when there's a clear advantage on the attempt. But it's still a 2 out of 12 chance of failure. So easy has a 2 out of 12 chance of failure, although we're going to add this aspect number to it, right? So we'll see how that works. Average 6. Absurd is 12, a 1 in 12 chance. But we do have a modifier. Average is as a 6, so it could go either way. 9, high chance of failure. So piece of cake, it could go either way. This is considered challenging. Extreme chance of failure, but here goes nothing. Okay, so an example here for a static roll. In order to reach the crypt entrance, you have to scale the rocky wall of the cave. It's a short distance to reach it. Player says, I don't have a climb kit, but we'll try anyway. So the game master says, make an average prowess roll to see how to do it. Player rolls an 8, beating the target number of 6. Oh, it didn't tell us, but this is a prowess roll, so I'm assuming they added prowess to it. Oh, you got Charlie says doing an unboxing here while following along. Twilight 2000 game box. I don't know that one. Mellow Wave says the multiple dice types seem similar to Cortex. Yeah, Cortex, you are assembling a dice pool. Cortex was a very interesting system. I mean, we went over that. Cortex, you assemble a whole bunch of dice to roll, but you don't have to like add all of those numbers together because you would choose one die to be, the effect die. One die determined whether or not you passed or failed, and the other one was another die you chose was your effect die. Mike says using D12 rather than D20 makes the bonuses to the rolls matter more. Yeah, I'm wondering what the ranges of our bonuses are. Gnomebot says I put a lot of examples into the book. So that's fantastic. We'll check this out. Oh, from Free League. So Twilight 2000. Twilight 2000. Oh, I see. Oh, I have not heard about that one at all. It does look cool, though. I wonder if they sent a PDF. I'll have to check. I have not really even been at email for the past 3 days. Oh, Gnomebot. Excuse me. Gnomebot says that the max bonus is +3. So the aspect range, aspect stat range is -2 to +3. Okay, so it can be -3 to +2. -2 to +3. The dungeon, I don't no. I think we're thinking of something else. PH. I've got my Cortex rule book right here. So Cortex Prime Handbook, Cortex Prime Game Handbook by Cam Banks. I don't believe the dungeon coach was involved in Cortex. I could be wrong. But the credits page doesn't list anything like that. Opposed rolls. Opposed rolls are made whenever an attempted task is challenged by an opponent. Both sides at the same time compare the results. Roll at the same time and compare the results. The higher roll succeeds. If they roll a tie, it's considered a stalemate and nothing happens. However, a stalemate during melee combat deals 1 damage to each combatant. So if the brute steps forward, puts his elbow on the table, splays his fingers, and challenges Grim to an arm wrestling match, he says, I accept. He doesn't stand a chance. This will be an opposed might roll. Player rolls a 10. GM rolls a 10. It's a tie. Both of your arms shake as sweat breaks on your forehead. No movement is made either way. Intimidating a guard to opening the castle gate. The game sessions of Grit are played over a series of rounds. I think that's what, yeah. Cortex is something different. Cortex is very different. Game systems of Grit are played over a series of rounds where each player gets a turn to act. There is no set order or initiative to track. Instead, turns are freely taken on a collaborative basis each and every round. The GM is part of this process and may make their turns before or after any player takes theirs. Both combat and non-combat rounds operate identically, with the last person, player or GM, to take an action, not a reaction, cannot go first in the subsequent round. So you can't double up. Go back to back. Movement and range. 3 distances are used for movement and ranged combat range. Melee, short, and long. We encounter this quite a bit, and I do like this. the systems that use these more abstract distances right here. Melee, short and long. Grids, rulers, and exact measurements are not needed. It's all about feel over precision. Approximation is good enough. Melee, very close hand-to-hand combat, encompasses attacking such as biting, brawling, grappling, and wielding hand-to-hand weapons. Short, the distance covered by running for a few seconds and the range of thrown weapons such as darts or spears. Long, twice the distance of a short move, while at a full sprint and the range of fired weapons such as bows. Gnomebot says, very simple with 3 measurements. Yes. Grit says, grit represents the life points of a PC or monster and is shown as a numeric value. The PCs have a maximum of 10 grit and can never exceed that. Maximum of 10 and can never, and that is in italics there, can never exceed that. Most monsters have 1, 5, or 10 grit, with powerful monsters having 15 or more. So we're not dealing with hit point inflation here, which is something I'm against. So the PCs have a standard, a maximum of 10 grit and cannot exceed that. The maximum capacity, that allows you to calibrate weapon damage so much more easily when you know what does a human or even a heroic level human have, and it's not constantly going up. Hey, Innerlight, we're taking a look at this Grit RPG by Gnomebot Studios, and Gnomebot is actually in the chat with us. Just came out like a week ago. The damage capacity of objects and structures such as barricades, doors, or walls can also utilize grit. The GM will keep track of those specific details as they become relevant during gameplay. It's worth noting that some items and monster abilities deliver special damage or effects against structures. Okay, so here are our aspects. Roll the d12 and then add or subtract appropriate aspect values from it. The 5 aspects are might, and here's what they mean. Might is used for raw physical strength, melee weapon attacks, unarmed attacks, used for lifting, pushing, pulling, and breaking objects. Prowess is refined physical ability. Okay, I was wondering what the difference between might and prowess is. So prowess is refined physical ability, firing, throwing ranged weapons, used for jumping, swimming, climbing, dodging, and stealth. We have valor, which is mental and physical resilience, used to resist effects such as fear, intimidation, magic effects, mind control, and poisons. Insight is perception, sensory awareness, tracking, and foraging skills, used for repairing, modifying, and operating devices and gadgets. Command, social competency, acting, charm, intimidation, deception, wearing disguises, using items such as instruments, scrolls, wands, etc. Like PCs, NPCs, and monsters only have a single universal aspect value. Oh, no, excuse me. Unlike PCs, NPCs and monsters have only a single universal aspect value. See the GM's guide for a description of block stats and how they work. So in this example, we do have a +2 in M. That was might. -1 prowess, +1 valor. Yeah, valor. Insight, -1 insight, and -1 command. Okay, what are the focus dice and what do they mean? Access Your Inner Light says, cool. I was just looking at the new CCG Wonders of the First. It blew the Kickstarter of the water. Oh, I don't know about that one either. Okay, you're not at the computer for a few days and all this stuff happens. Wonders of Flight. Of the first. I'm looking that up now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. CCG is collectible card game. I don't play a lot of collectible card games. Yeah. 2,000 people, $1.2 million. Man, they really did. Gnomebot Studio says that monsters are simpler. That monsters are much simpler as far as stats are concerned, for it's easier for the GM. Mike says, I rather like that you think of the GM side of the game. So let's see. All right. So what's going on with focus dice? So focus dice. Each player begins the game with 3 focus dice, D4, D6, D8. They can each be used once per session to boost an aspect roll or to activate abilities and items. Once per session to boost an aspect roll or to activate abilities and items. Only 1 focus die can be used per turn, and only after an aspect roll has been made, if used for an aspect roll. So you do get to roll first and then decide if you want to use one of these. They cannot be shared, used for fixed or straight damage, or to impact timers or rolls of other PCs, NPCs, or monsters. Aspect values are never added to focus dice rolls. Once a focus die has been used, it is discarded from the game. Okay, so for example, while being chased by a horde of skeletons, Grim tries to jump over a chasm and misses his prowess roll by 2. A d6 focus die is chosen, and a 3 is rolled, allowing him to make the initial attempt succeed. With a sudden burst of energy, Grim clears the chasm. Using the focus die saved the day. I like that you know what you've got to beat, so you get to select which die you've got. Grim is badly wounded after an attack from a nasty ghoul. So you've got 1 here, but if you miss by 1, any die will take care of that. Example 2, Grim is badly wounded after an attack from a nasty ghoul. On his next turn, he uses his shard of healing that says to discard and roll a focus die, healing the amount rolled. Grim rolls a 7 on a d8 focus die and heals to a max grit. He is now ready to be back in the fight. Focus die recovery. Focus die are only able to be recovered at the start of a multi-session game, and only if there was sufficient downtime as determined by the game master. Focus dice cannot be recovered in a one-shot game unless allowed by an item. Only used focus dice may be recovered. They do not accumulate from one session to the next. We are using gear slots, again, which I really like. So gear slots, a PC can own and freely use up to 10 slots of gear. Each piece of armor takes 1 slot unless noted otherwise. A PC can only have 1 suit of armor and shield, as well as other wearable gear such as boots, cloaks, and helms. All right, so what's going on with the gear? All gear items have titles, notations, and mechanical tags. Items with special abilities will include brief instructions. If an item requires a roll to be used, it will have the related aspect shown in parentheses. Single-use items are noted with an SU. We saw that earlier. Multiples of the same item will have a value noted to indicate their quantity. The values require upkeep. When those items are used. I guess that means upkeep is in decrementing the number that you have every time one is used. Ammunition-based weapons such as bows require no upkeep. Okay, that's good. So ammunition-based weapons such as bows require no upkeep. All right. Examples of some gear are shown below. So club, M, melee, darts, P. I guess is that the type of roll you're making? I think it is. So spear is M or P for melee versus thrown. Torches, this is a single-use item. 2, illuminate short radius, last one seen. Kits contain small items that take up a single gear slot. They're used to accomplish specific tasks and have an aspect noted for when a roll is required. Kits with a noted aspect will typically decrease the difficulty of a static roll by 1 level. See, these are used to accomplish specific tasks. Man, I can't speak this morning. And have an aspect noted when the rolls are required. Kits with a noted aspect will typically decrease the difficulty of a static roll by 1 level. So, for example, I use the spyglass from my kit to observe the camp from a safe distance. GM says, because of the kit, your insight roll is now easy instead of average. Rolls an 8, beating the target number of 3. You can easily scan the entire camp and notice an orc wearing an amulet. Yeah, M is might. Yeah, SU is single use. I remember that one. M is might. SU means single use. So the torches are single use, but that told us we had 2 torches. So single use, SU, 2 torches. And that's what we're saying requires upkeep after using 1 torch. You need to record that you've got 1 torch left. Food and poisons. Food and potions. Food and potions. Food and potions are single-use items that can be consumed as a free action on a player's turn. Only one such item can be consumed per turn, and their effects are immediately applied. A stunned or incapacitated character cannot use these items. For example, on his turn, Grim pops the cork off a healing potion and gulps it down while rushing towards some bandits blocking his path. He instantly heals 3 grit, moments before his sword begins to swing. Magical items. Items imbued with special powers are only means of magic. The only means of magic available to the PCs in Grit. With no spell casting, Grit is all about the gear. Okay, so we're gear focused here. If you roll a natural 1 while using a magical item such as an amulet, scroll, or wand, the GM has the option to roll on the magical effects table. Grit is automatically fully recovered between play sessions, provided each stopping point allows for a reasonable amount of time to have passed. If a session ends in an unresolved state, then no recovery is possible, and you pick up where you left off next session. The GM will determine whether the recovery can be made. The character can never recover more than their max grit, which is 10. PH says, I knew I'd seen another RPG named Grit. Grit from Conjecture Games. It's about a mythical Roman Britannia. That sounds fun. It's an indie, diceless, narrative-based RPG. Well, we might have to look at that sometime. So reaching 0 grit. The first time a PC's grit is reduced to 0, that player must immediately choose between going out in a blaze of glory or receiving a second chance. When monsters and NPCs receive 0 grit, they are dead and do not have this option. So Blaze of Glory. There was another game we were looking at that had some type of option like this when you die or when you hit 0 of hit points or whatever it was. Blaze of Glory. The player describes one final action of incredible heroism. It's resolved without a roll and is considered a natural 12. If a focus die can be used, it's added at maximum value. After going out in a blaze of glory, the character permanently dies. Or if you want a second chance, the PC dramatically pops up on their next turn with 1 grit. Their grit maximum is now permanently reduced to 5. If the PC is reduced to 0 once more, they immediately die with no opportunity to go out in a blaze of glory or receive a second chance. Oh, interesting. We don't know what the grit for each character is at the moment. We just know that it is a maximum of 10. So if you want a second chance, your grit is now permanently reduced to 5. And if you hit 0, so you can be dying a lot in this game? I don't know. Gnomebot says, Blaze of Glory is so awesome. There have been situations where this was clutch. So we saw that so combat. Combat consists of a series of rounds. Each combatant takes 1 turn per combat and may spend it taking either an action or a reaction, but not both. Combat ends when one side is defeated, escapes, or surrenders. Turn order. Combat does not utilize initiative rolls or follow a rigid turn order. I remember that. Instead, it's established by players deciding together who should act as a round progresses. At their discretion, the GM will also take a turn to control the monsters before or after any player. The key rule is that you can't move back to back. Taking an action allows a combatant to initiate a single task lasting a few seconds. A short move may be made before or after taking one of the following actions: an attack, sprint, or miscellaneous. Melee or ranged attack, make a second short move to traverse a long distance. So a short move may be made before or after taking one of these, but you can sprint to traverse a long distance if you need to. So we do have reactions in this. Well, you're right. We do have soak in here too. Oh, Daggerheart has a Blaze of Glory mechanic, I think. Oh, Gnomebot says it's possible, but fairly rare. Talking about death. And Inner Light says, unless there's some powerful magic or something that brings you back to the normal maximum. So magic might be possible. All right, so we do have reactions. Let's see. So react to an incoming attack if you are aware of it, and then make a short move if desired. The short move must happen after the attacker has decided whether or not to move if able. Remember that making a reaction counts as your turn for the round. When being attacked, choose one of the following actions: counterattack or dodge. So you're reacting to an attack. And it says, remember that making a reaction counts as your action for the round. So I guess if you've already gone that round, you cannot react. I guess that would be what that means. And if it comes around to you in the round later, you can't act because you have already reacted. And you can counterattack or dodge. Counterattack, melee, or range. Melee, succeed on an opposed might roll against an incoming melee attack to instead deal damage to the attacker. Okay, opposed might roll to instead damage the attacker, or ranged, succeed on an opposed prowess roll against an incoming weapon-based ranged attack to instead deal damage to the attacker. Ranged weapons cannot counter melee attacks. You must be within range and visually aware of the attack in order to counter. Do you have to have a ranged weapon yourself? Succeed on an opposed prowess roll against an incoming, okay, the attack is ranged incoming, to instead deal damage to the attacker. Ranged weapons cannot counter melee attacks. Do you have to have a ranged weapon yourself in order to do that? To me, that kind of sounds like it. You're shooting back. Dodge. Succeed on an opposed prowess roll against an incoming melee attack or ranged attack to negate it. You must be visually aware of the impending attack. So I guess that depends on whether or not you're better at might or prowess. Because if you're better at prowess, succeed on an opposed might roll against an incoming melee attack to instead deal damage to the attacker. So if you succeed, you're not getting damage, but the attacker is. Whereas dodge, you just negate the incoming attack. Okay, so example. Here's two examples. Grim makes a melee attack against a goblin who attempts to dodge. Grim makes a might roll of 10. The GM opposes with a roll of 6. The goblin fails the dodge and takes 4 points of damage. Is that the difference? Maybe that's how we got to 4. Example 2, a goblin archer fires an arrow at Grim, who decides to dodge. The GM rolls 5, and Grim opposes with a prowess roll of 8. Grim manages to leap to the side as the arrow strikes the ground. Yep, you do have to. Okay, so the GnomeBot provides clarification. You do need a ranged weapon, so you are shooting back. Okay, so if you don't have that, you can dodge. Yeah, if it wasn't shooting back, I wasn't sure how to adjudicate that narratively as far as what just happened. Why would the attacker be taking damage? But if you're shooting back, that makes total sense. Taking the hit. A target being attacked may choose not to react and simply take the hit. The attacking roll will be average unless modified by the GM. If the target survives, they may take their turn later in the round. Okay, so being attacked kind of stops you from doing things. I mean, you can take the average roll and still be able to act, but that does seem like quite a risk there. Flanking. When a combatant is engaged in a melee attack, engaged in melee combat and cannot react, melee attacks against them from others are easy. Flanking cannot be done with ranged attacks. Okay, so if a combatant is engaged in melee and cannot react, melee attacks against them from others are easy. Oh, so if you get ganged up on. Easy to get ganged up on. Core rules. Damage. Okay, so grit is reduced each time damage is dealt after soak has been applied. See soak, armor, and shields below. If the recipient of the damage is reduced to 0, they are dead. Go check out being dead. Damage is calculated in 4 ways depending on the situation. Okay, so static is a difference between a roll and a target number. Grim fires his bow at a troll. A static prowess is made against an average difficulty of 6 that results in a 9. Grim inflicts 3 points of damage on the troll. Opposed is the difference between 2 contesting rolls. An orc swings an axe at Grim, who counterattacks with his sword. An opposed roll is made. The orc rolls a 6 and Grim rolls a 10. Grim succeeds and delivers 4 points of damage to the orc. or fixed, a predetermined single amount. Aspect values are not added. Grim is stabbed with a poison needle while picking a lock. He receives 1 fixed damage from the needle and then fails a valor test against the poison. For the next 3 rounds, he will receive 1 fixed damage from the poison's ongoing effects. Or straight, a single die roll, aspect value not added. Grim attempts to move through an area with falling debris and fails his prowess roll. The GM rolls a straight D6 die with a result of 3. Grim takes 3 damage from the debris. All right, very straightforward. Okay, so now we are at soak. So armor and shields reduce the amount of incoming damage by their combined soak value. If a PC has no armor or shield, their soak value is 0. Soak does not protect against certain special effects such as fear or poison. Armor offers soak ranging from 1 to 3 depending on type. Wearing armor reduces a PC's prowess by the armor prowess penalty. Shields may have a soak value of 1 and are used without a prowess penalty. Armor offers soak from 1 to 3. Okay, so 1 to 3. Wearing armor reduces a PC's prowess by the armor's prowess penalty. All right. I guess that's going to be on a table. Shields soak 1 and are used without a prowess penalty. A shield may also be sacrificed to negate all damage from a single incoming attack. Were we just talking about that last live stream, weren't we? The sacrifice of a shield. Maybe it was for this. I'm not sure. So Grim is wearing medium armor and using a shield, giving him a soak value of 3. He's attacked by an orc who deals 7 damage to him. After applying soak, Grim takes only 4 damage from the attack. Combat potentials. We got rules for brawling, disarming, grappling, hunkering down. That's a miscellaneous action that can be taken to hunker behind a shield or solid structure. All attacks made against the hunkered target are hard. Improvised weapons, paired weapons, shield bashing. So using a weapon in each hand does not grant actual extra actions or damage and negates the use of a shield. Shield bashing, surprise attacks. Oh, it looks like our mushroom guys had a hard day here. We got examples of combat here. Says advancement. Grit does not rely on a programmed system of character advancement. Characters grow organically by acquiring items and experiences during their adventures. You get what you find and what you put into it, not what is expected by a set of rules. No other form of advancement is needed or required. The next section is characters and the character creation. All right, so that was basically the entire rules right there. Oh, Inner Light says, okay, sacrificing a shield is a mechanic in quite a few OSR-based games. I think the first time I read it was ASSH. Oh, it's also in BTA. So maybe I was. Mike says, we were just looking at Crown and Skulls. So Mike says, Crown and Skulls had an attrition as a mechanic that I may be thinking of. Could be. Combat potentialities are just quick rules in case those specific things come up. So yes, it does sound like a lot of advancement is based on acquiring gear, it seems like. Michael, good morning, Michael. Michael says about 20 minutes behind. Sams, you're all right? Oh, ICRPG has shield sacrifice as well? So character creation, we've been going for about an hour. Let's keep going a little bit here. Character creation, especially if this is fast. Character creation occurs in 6 steps. Select lineage, allocate aspect points, select unique gear item, select basic gear items, grit, focus dice, and soak, name and details. Okay, so if you prefer to fast track the characters you are building, follow the quick build guidelines in step 1 to 5. You may also use these guidelines selectively to randomize specific steps of character creation if desired. All right, select a lineage to define your character's individual ancestral and cultural stock. Once selected, write the lineage ability on your character sheet. Note, the 4 narrative tags following the lineage name are descriptive only and do not provide any mechanical benefit. So we've got things like Bolug, Dwarf, Elf, Froom, Giant, Gnome, Hobbit, Human, Quickling, Ruckwar, Stoutling, and Wildern. Have to know more about what those are. Oh, so here we go. So a Bolug, for example, amphibious, dexterous, quirky, and steadfast. But they said that's narrative only and does not have mechanical benefits. But ability is frog-like. You may jump as a short move, cling to vertical surfaces, and swim without making a roll. You cannot wear armor that has a prowess penalty. Description: a slender-limbed amphibian with bulbous eyes, lengthy fingers and toes, and long, thin mouths. Bolugs have wide skin tones and patterns related to clan distinctions and geographic location. We've got dwarves. Okay, I was wondering what that was. Astonishing swordsmen and sorcerers of Hyperborea. By the Sax, we were just talking about. I was talking about By the Sax I Hack. I believe it was with the creator in the comments. Not the live comments, but the comments on for replay. We got dwarves. We got elves. There's the Froom. I figured that was what the Froom was. Mystical, peculiar, spongy, and eccentric. So ability Spore Plume. As an action, sacrifice a focus die. All targets in melee range must succeed a hard valor roll or sprint away from you their next turn. So Frooms are odd bipedal creatures that resemble large fungi. They come in a plethora of shapes, sizes, and colors and have curious eyes that reveal an unusual consciousness. They often exhibit an odd sense of humor. We've got giant, gnome. Look at those eyes on the gnome. Of course, through the goggles here. Hoblin. Hoblins have stubby, round bodies with long, gangly arms and legs. Noted for their bright skin tones, pointy ears, and expressive features, Hoblins give off an amusing, if not comical, appearance. They hate being confused with goblins, even though they share a similar propensity for mischief. We do have humans. Oh, rigorous training. Your focus pool is D6, D8, and D10. Quickling. Small and thin, yet have unusually toned muscles. They have immensely large eyes and long tapering ears that gives them keen hearing. Their beautiful greenish blue skin shimmers in the sun and moonlight. Nightmare fuel. Ruckwar, heavy, durable, slow, powerful. Ruckwars are massive, blocky humanoids with gravelly, stone-like features. They have small, twinkling eyes, rumbling voices, and are often covered with moss and vines. Very little is known about the origins of these unusual folk, even by the Ruckwars themselves. Stoutlings, short with round feature, curly hair, little eyes, known for their mirthful smiles and simple earthly fashions. Stoutlings exude a natural, genuine appearance of goodwill. They're also surprisingly dexterous for their understated physiques. Wildern. Wilderns are humanoids with woodland animal features. So definitely unique. So we got world. It's not just rules. We also have the world here. And very, I mean, we got elves and dwarves, but this is all very different from classic fantasy. Wilderns are humanoids with woodland animal features. Their size and appearance can vary depending on which animal they resemble. They have athletic physiques and wear cloaks of green or gray. Wilderns feel at home in nature and are protective stewards of the land in which they reside. They get to add +2 to all of the focus die rolls. It's very unique. It was the mushroom people. The mushroom people were the people of the nightmare fuel. Mike asks, can Hoblins use their special ability each turn, or is there a limit? Oh, PH is digging the races. What was the Hoblin's special ability? When you make a special ability, when you roll a natural 1 while making an aspect roll, re-roll it and keep the result. That sounds like any time. Oh, and Gnomebot confirms. Yes, they can do that each turn as long as they are making an aspect roll. So aspect rolls only, so that is probably important. So the other types of rolls, you wouldn't get that. But if you're rolling an aspect roll, then you get to re-roll ones. Okay, allocating our stat points. So we know our stats here: might, prowess, valor, insight, and command. Allocating your character's aspect values is done in 2 simple ways. Record the number of your character sheet in the space by each aspect. They should be written either as positive or negative unless the value is 0. So step 1, strong aspects. Allocate a combined total of +4 between the aspects of your choice. A single aspect cannot exceed a value of 3. And then weak aspects, allocate a combined total of -2 to aspects with no positive value. You will allocate -1 between 2 aspects or -2 to both. So, for instance, Grim is a fierce warrior. Therefore, his strong aspect values are allocated as follows: a might +2, a prowess +1, and a valor +1. But then, after allocating Grim's strong aspects, his insight and command are left with no positive values. A -1 value is allocated to both these aspects. His final aspects values are might +2, prowess +1, valor +1, and he's got a -1 in insight and command. Could you... I mean, I guess you could go -2 to insight, and that way you'd have a 0 in command. Oh, okay. I was wondering if you could apply these penalties to one of the other ones so that you would not have negatives. But it does say allocate a combined total of -2 to aspects with no positive value. So once he's declared M, P, and V as positive values, they cannot have a negative applied. So I guess he could have gone. So he could have done that differently, though. He could have gone +3 to might, +1 to prowess, and then V is valor. That would leave valor as a 0, which means that it could have the penalty applied. Gnomebot says, right, you could put -2 to a single aspect. Yeah. But once it's gone up, it's not going back down. You couldn't put this +2 right here and then take our -2 and apply it to that one, making that one 0. At least as I understand it. We got quick build stats. Select unique gear item. Select one unique gear item from the list on the following page. Write this on your character sheet under gear. It will take up 1 gear slot. Check with your fellow players to make sure each player has a different unique item. Quick build. Okay, so you can roll. So these are things like Amulet of Illusions, Armlets of Fury, Belt of Potions. Hold 3 potions in 1 gear slot. Starts with 3 random items from the Magic Potions loot table. Can be restocked with new potions required if able. Elven Boots, Druidic Runes. Includes 1 rune of stone, water, and wood. When activated, choose the magical effect that will occur within short range. Fey Forged Mail, armor, soak 1, no prowess penalty. Reduces acid and fire damage you receive by half. It shimmers with golden flecks of light. Rune Metal Armor, soak 3, prowess -2, indestructible. Requires might +1. Mysterious rune-etched mail that glows with ancient magic flame. Wizard Rope, changes length from palm width all the way up to long range and can snake crawl, wriggle, wrap around objects, and untie on command. Then select basic gear. Select 4 items from either of the 2 following lists. Each item will fill 1 gear slot on your character sheet. Only 1 suit of armor and shield may be selected. So this is things like battle axe, club, dagger, darts, mace, medium armor, morning star, warhammer, caltrops, fireworks, extendable pole, mischief kit, rogue's cloak, stink bombs, torches. 4d6, d8 in front of you. These will be for your focus dice. Write the number 10 in both boxes on grit. Oh, so you just start with 10. So your maximum is 10, and it just tells you to start with 10. So that's not based off of a statistic, right? So just write the number 10 in both boxes above grit on your character sheet. The left box represents the PC's current, and the right box your max. Add up how much soak you've got. Prowess adjustment. If your character is wearing armor, subtract its prowess penalty from your character's prowess value. Write the adjusted value in the space above prowess on your character sheet. This will be the value used when making all prowess rolls during the game. Name and details. Quirks. The advice for character creation says, start with a picture. Sometimes the best way to create a character is to start with an image that inspires you. After all, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Don't build for the group. Make a character who excites you without worrying about what the group needs. An imbalanced party encourages improvisation. Refine your basic gear. Create unique features or details for your basic gear. They will not have an impact mechanically, but will add some cool immersion. Build suboptimally. When a PC has limitations, it makes them dimensional and creates opportunities for fun role play. Try it. You may be surprised. But make them stand out. Give your character a quirk or mannerism, such as a catchphrase, pet peeve, or obsession. This will make them memorable and fun. So here we go. So here is an example. Here is Grim, a human. He's got might +2, prowess -1, valor +1, insight -1, and command -1. But that's human for rigorous training. So his focus die pool is actually d6, d8, and d10. He's got 3 points of soak, 10 points of grit. And he started out with an iron spiked shield, soak 1, damage WFD roll. Oh, damage with focus die roll. Medium armor, soak 2, prowess -2, a long sword for melee, a bow and quiver for long range, and a dagger. And then we go into the GM's guide. Yeah, yes, they were like the special items. The unique gear items are more powerful than basic items. Oh, Mike says, I like this. I like the game. Are you planning on doing something with sci-fi as well? PH says, to Gnomebot, props to you. I really enjoy what you've made here. I found it creative and inviting. Definitely a breath of fresh air in the RPG scenario. Do you have like some type of VTT set up, some kind of virtual tabletop to play this? So I wonder, I was just thinking about, of course, we got a lot of things to try out. And if we can do more gaming in the online coffee shop, maybe somebody would be interested in running this or trying this out, or maybe Gnomebot Studios would. Doing an online, it would be nice. It would be nice if eventually we could have like guest game masters in the online coffee shop so that people can play different games that have been created. Oh, you are? So, okay. So Gnomebot says, I am currently writing a sci-fi version called Grit Galaxies. Well, I would be up and running this for you. I need to spend more time. Well, of course, I've got a bunch of games that are built out for the coffee shop that we haven't even played yet. And I was thinking about, we were trying to play some diplomacy, and that never really got off the ground. So maybe the next thing I put out, I'd like to play diplomacy. Everybody can play that because that one is asynchronous. Everybody can play and submit their orders in their own time. But we've maybe play some other things other than Hero Quest. But yeah, I want to do more gaming. So yeah, If there's already a VTT, let me know. We use a very simple VTT in the coffee shop. We just use playingcards.io. But it sounds like that was all you need here. I need to come up with some other way to do role-playing games in there. I think that would be similar to visualizing the situation with things like the index card, RPGs, cards, and things like that. Let's see. There was something else I was going to say that had gone on. Nothing. Oh, yeah, that was Wednesday. So I did meet with Cameron on Wednesday. We talked about the Trial of St. Gabriel story, and then also Clovis. Back to Clovis, and I got some good news. Got some great comments on Wednesday. And I'm looking forward. I've been actually spending what little time I had sitting down here, working on writing and rewriting Clovis. But I got to get back to writing. But first, I still got to get through the Cultist RPG. Mike says I would give this a go. I like the mechanics. Oh, and Gnomebot says I do have a Discord server for Grit. If anyone's interested, I'll be posting games for anyone interested in trying it out. Oh, okay. Let's see. Can I get to? Let's see. Would the link to that be on the Gnomebot Studio page? Oh, you've been doing a lot for the index card RPG. Oh, I don't see a link. But you can post it in our Discord. Because I'm sure there will be people who would like to join the Gnomebot Studios Discord server. Thank you so much for being here, Gnomebot. It was great having you. And thank you for creating this. I enjoyed looking at it this morning. I think I didn't have any idea of what it was. So we just came in cold and we checked it out. I've enjoyed it, though. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much for putting this together for us. So I have got to get out of here because I'm going to be gone all afternoon and probably evening, but at least I have tomorrow. So tomorrow to do stuff. I do stuff here at the house, even though I also need to work on the RPG. So I'm going to have to get out of here, but I have enjoyed it. Thank you to everybody who has been here live, and thank you for being in the comments because the comments make the show. And so I really enjoy as always, having everybody in the comments. And if you watch later on and you are in the comment section on the replay, please do leave a comment. I do read all of those and respond when something comes up, a question or something like that. So it'd be great having you, whether you're live or you're watching on replay. And thank you again to Gnomebot Studios for being here with us today. All right. Great to find a game like this that's a pleasant surprise. All right. I will talk to everybody later. And I'll probably be live Tuesday on Table Talk, but otherwise we'll be live on next Wednesday morning. Maybe we'll do some Cultist RPG VTT. All right. Later, everybody. Talk to you later. Go forth, be constructive, and be creative.